You will not believe the trade package an NBA insider is proposing for Joel Embiid. Also, will James Harden stay or leave? A lot of interesting updates on that situation. We'll break all of it down here on Philly Take with RB.
Perfect.
What is going on, everybody? RB here. Welcome into the show. Like always, hit the like button if you enjoy the content. Be sure to subscribe and also ring that bell down below. That way you don't miss any of the content. We have you covered all off season long, and we're at that point in the early off season where the spice begins. The trade rumors heating up, and of course, one Joel Embiid is starting to be involved, given the fact that the Sixers were bounced in the second round yet again. But I am stunned by what is being floated out there today. Also, will James Harden stay or go? Well, we have some more information on that from an ESPN insider, but before we get into breaking all of it down, shout out to the partner of today's video, Mint Mobile. Shout out to the partner of today's video, Mint Mobile. If you out there are similar to everyone else in the world who has thought to themselves at one point, why is my wireless bill so high? Then Mint Mobile is for you. Mint Mobile offers premium wireless for as low as $15 per month, and you don't have to sacrifice any coverage, speed, or data. They're built on the nation's largest 5G network and keep costs low because they sell directly to you online, cutting out the retail stores and salespeople. Why should you pay more than you have to for access to the same network? You can go and use that money to treat yourself to a Sixers game or even buy a new jersey. All Mint Mobile plans include unlimited nationwide talk and text, plus lightning fast 5G and free mobile hotspot. They even offer super affordable family plans with as little as 2 lines. And switching to Mint is super easy thanks to their digital eSIM cards. You can sign up and activate immediately right on your phone from the comfort of your home. And if your phone isn't eSIM compatible, Mint will actually ship you a new SIM card free of charge. The whole process will only take about 15 minutes. And if you get stuck, Mint has a great customer service team to help you through it. So if you are interested in reliable coverage and fast data for a fraction of the cost, go to mintmobile.com/PhillyTake. You can go right down to the description of this video and click the link, or you can scan the QR code on the screen. All right, man, let's get into it. So going about the normal day business, and boom, here comes the NBA trade bomb rumor. But I couldn't believe it, man. I'm sitting here shocked. This is what people are talking about on May 25th? Really? NBA Insider floats a trade idea that would send Joel Embiid to the Miami Heat, which we've heard before, right? Him, Jimmy Butler, for Bam Adebayo, Tyler Hero, and other pieces. Now, I fully respect what the Heat have done in these playoffs. To be honest, I've been overwhelmed. I didn't expect it. And, you know, guys like Bam Adebayo have been playing their tail off. Much respect. I didn't think they could do it. Shout out to them, all the undrafted pieces. But, you know, Tyler Hero's been injured and other pieces. Okay, let's get into the article here and talk about this potential idea. So there was a podcast where an NBA insider pitched a scenario where the Heat would acquire Joel Embiid. This article written by Brad Sullivan, and it says Hoops type Michael Scotto spoke about such a prospect, which referenced the potential departure of Sixers guard James Harden. Theoretically, if that happened, if I'm Joel, I think he's always had an affinity for Jimmy Butler. Maybe he has. If I'm Philly and Harden leaves, do you call Miami and ask for Adebayo, Hero, and other pieces for Embiid? Daryl Morey always struck me as a guy that acquires stars. He doesn't trade them unless he's getting another star back. I agree with that. I agree with that sentiment. But here's where you're off, Mr. Michael Scotto. Adebayo, Hero, and other pieces. What are we talking about here? Let me break it down for you very simply, okay? Number one, Tyler Hero has been good 1 year, bad the next. He's up, he's down, getting paid a lot of money, and he's been banged up, and here he is injured in the playoffs. That's number one. Number two, even though I respect what Bam Adebayo is doing, I personally do not want to surround my team with a 6'9" center, as you know, in terms of being that main arch to get, you know, on a playoff roster to the NBA Finals. I personally don't think that will work long term. Obviously, this year may be an outlier, but a 6'9" center, that's who you want to, you know, be the core of your team after a Joel Embiid leaves and other pieces. Here's how it goes, man. You do not even entertain the idea of trading Joel Embiid until a team calls you up and says, here is our base offer. We're starting at 5 first-round picks and a young star player, or maybe 4 first-round picks, maybe a pick swap in there, and 2 young star players. Why do I say that? Well, Everybody wants to be all in the moment. Everybody wants to be all about the timing of things, right? When it comes to contracts. Well, guess what? Thanks to one Danny Ainge, thanks to one Rudy Gobert, here's what the Utah Jazz received for Rudy Gobert. And I get it. This is the worst trade in NBA history, okay? But there have been other trades like this, the Kevin Durant trade. Joel Embiid is a superstar despite what you think. I know he didn't come up big in the playoffs, and it sucks, but he's a superstar, okay? And he just won an MVP. This is what the Jazz received for Defensive Player of the Year, Rudy Gobert. Malik Beasley, Pat Bev, Leandro Bolmaro, Walker Kessler, Jared Vanderbilt, and 5 first-round picks. Yeah, you don't even start the convo until you get 5 first-rounders and a young star player that you can start to build around. I mean, this guy, makes it sound like the Sixers are trying to rebuild the Kentucky Wildcats in Philadelphia with Tyrese Maxey leading the way. Would the Sixers be fast and fun and athletic? Sure. Are Hero and Adebayo good players? Sure. But we're talking about a superstar in Joel Embiid. Let's stop that. You would have to either do a swap of a superstar or you got to start throwing in picks, man. The Sixers need assets. Don't buy into the hype. Don't buy into that, man. I don't know where this is coming from. I'm shocked. And there's actually people commenting on this whole thread saying, yeah, this would be a great idea. Where? What are we talking about here, man? To be honest, I'm kind of leaning towards the side of don't trade Joel unless everything just blows up at this point. We have to wait to see what James Harden does first. That is the first domino, the coach, of course, but James Harden is going to determine a lot about the Sixers strategy. Daryl Morey, like I said in his press conference, wants to bring James back. That's clear and that's apparent. The question is, what will the terms be if they do? Well, we are getting an update from ESPN's insider, Brian Windhorst, and I've started to, come to accept Windhorst a little more over the years, especially when it comes to James Harden. The guy is always on target. And according to Windy, the Sixers are not motivated to pay James Harden the max that he is looking for, according to sources. Now, let's go ahead and read that article. Let's talk about that. Here's what Brian Windhorst has to say. If James Harden and the Sixers are reunited, it might require the star point guard taking less than a max deal yet again. Quote, the Sixers have not shown an appetite to pay Harden the max. Like we said the other day, Sixers aren't hungry, and I'm not hungry either. No way should you go out and pay $50 million that will hinder your team, your roster, especially for a guy that, once again, could not come up big in Game 6 and 7. The Sixers are not really motivated to pay him the max salary if they don't think anybody else is going to do it. And to be honest, if another team does it, they are crazy, man. Again, I'm very happy with what James Harden did in the regular season. Thought he had a really great year, but you have to have the health concerns, into play, and he's got to come up big in the second round. I do think him and Joel could definitely sort it out. I think if you move it to Tobias' contract and Maxey gets more comfortable, maybe a new coach, you could figure some things out, but there's no way you can do it for 50 mil. I appreciate and I respect James Harden being a good teammate, taking less last year, bringing in Tucker, bringing in Daniel House, but business is business. You are trying to get better not only for this year, but upcoming years as well. Look how many overpaid contracts the Sixers have. You would be crazy to give a 33-year-old a 4-year max deal, $50 million a year. It's just not happening. Here's what Windy says, where things could get interesting for the Sixers is if all the buzz linking Harden with a return to the Rockets turns out to be legitimate. And I will say it once again. If James Harden goes to the Rockets, sure, they may pay him $50 million a year, which, I don't blame him at that point. But if they don't, he does not care about winning. That's not his number one priority anymore. He's a top 75 player. He's done everything in the game except win a championship. He has said it. The last thing to cement the resume, the legacy, is to win a chip. If he goes back to Houston, I'm sorry, they're not winning for at least a couple years, and that just would not make any sense. So that's where I'm at on it. Kelly Iko reported that Harden is the top target for Houston, representing the veteran leadership and elite point guard needed to establish structure. Going after Harden only makes sense for either party if the Rockets are ready to abandon a rebuild around young players and instead want to add several vet stars. Now, if that's the case, if you go and bring in 2 other stars, okay, I get it at that point. But is that what Houston's going to do? Why would they do that? Right? They're building all these assets, these young pieces together. Why would they do that? To me, it just would not make that much sense. Rockets will be torn between the win now aspirations of Harden and attempting to develop young players like Jalen Green. Hey, if they want to do a sign and trade and start talking about some of these young players, I'm all there for it. I'm all there for it. Windhorst says, I still suspect that all of that is one giant leverage play that what Harden really wants is to elicit the biggest offer out of the Sixers, even if it isn't a max. Again, there's a lot going around, but this Harden rumor has survived for a long time, even earlier in the season. But then again, Harden hasn't said anything yet or shown his intentions. Free agency hasn't started, so as of right now, it is just all hype. But I want to know from Sixer Nation down below, what would you pay James Harden? What will it take to keep him? Obviously, you're in a tough situation. You want to contend, but you also have to make the roster better, which you can't really do if you give him $50 million per year. At the same time, Sixers don't have a lot of assets in the draft, et cetera, et cetera. What do? Do you even think about entertaining an Embiid trade? Give me all your thoughts down below in the comment section. Like always, appreciate everybody for tuning in. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And with that being said, I will catch you all on the next one. Peace.